Hey, what's up, YouTube? I want to do a little different video this time. I thought for now, I'm going to go through how I learned guitar, why I picked up guitar. Just look back over the last 11 months. To be precise, 348 days. Who knows how many days to the day you've been playing guitar? How nerdy are you? So that's the day, 348 days ago, this guitar, the Epiphone DR-100, showed up at my house from Amazon. Now we'll talk about how it got here, why it got here. So for now, 348 days ago, almost a little over 11 months, it'll be 12 months, May 8th. So prior to that, well, I'm 41 years old, and I'm a software developer. I've been a software developer since October 16th, 2002. So 17 years. So 17 years I've been a professional nerd. Deal with computers all day, building things. And I went hard at it. And I'm a developer in St. John's, Newfoundland. Not widely known. There's some famous people around, say Scott Hanselman, or others as such, that made a name for themselves as software developers and are widely known. But I'm a software developer in local St. John's, Newfoundland, not widely known at all. Put my head down and work for some local companies. Been working for my current company for almost 4 years. Prior to getting this guitar, I did all day, every day. It was work. Work, and work. And work stressed me out. I was taking it home. And I work non-stop, but it was getting too stressful. I needed a way. I needed to stop working so much and have some other hobby, which I had none. My hobby was coding, or reading about coding, following people like Brendan Gregg, or Martin Thompson, or Jess Fraz, or a bunch of people in the industry to see what latest trends were, plus keep on top of my other work. It's never ending, and I was burning out. So I needed something. A few guys at work were playing this old silly thing, the Rubiks Cube. I thought that was interesting to learn. I never learned how to play a Rubiks Cube. Got fairly decent at it, solved it in 2 minutes. But then quickly it wore out. Okay, there's an algorithm to it, and young kids, 10, 12 years old, can solve this thing in 4 seconds. What kind of party trick is that? What life skill is that? Knowing how to solve it. I'm not going to tell you how to solve it now. Google it. Basically, it's white cross, corners, and layers. But that's it. But I learned how to solve it, and then what? I'm left really unsatisfied. That's not really a hobby that I could spend lots of time with. I needed something else. So at work, I work with hundreds of people, and a lot of them play guitar. They bring their guitars into work. My brother plays guitar. Every time I've been around a guitar, I'd be like, I wonder if I could do that. So one day, I said, the hell with it. I want to play guitar, but I don't have a guitar. And then had a fear of going into a guitar store because I didn't even know how to hold down a strum, how to strum a chord. Knew nothing. I mean, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Oh, that's on tonight too. What time is it? Jesus. All right, we gotta make this short. We got another hour or so before all hell breaks loose in Westeros. But I knew nothing. I've never picked up a guitar before in my life, and I was intimidated by going to a guitar store. So I did my research, and it came down to 2 guitars. The Yamaha FG-800, which is the quintessential beginner guitar. But this one, the Epiphone DR-100, was a little bit less known, and the price tag was about $100 cheaper. So after hemming and hamming about it, I was like, I'm going to take a chance now. It was on sale on Amazon for $179. So I ordered it, and it came with free delivery. So I had a week. So like, great. Now I got myself a guitar. Now what? I got a week of waiting for a guitar. What do you do in the meantime while you're waiting for a guitar, for your very first guitar? Now, mind you, this is not how you should buy guitars. How I bought a guitar. You shouldn't do this. But I did it. So, after I made the impulse of decision of buying a guitar for $179 on Amazon and waiting a week for free shipping, alright, so I go look up how to play guitar. And one of the very first things they tell you to do is to know how to tune the thing. So to get a tuner. Crap! I forgot in the order to actually order a tuner. So I opened another order with Amazon to order a Moogig tuner. Which is pretty crap, but that's the one I ordered. But it was in a separate order. So I left myself in a situation where I could have a guitar and no tuner and no way to tune it. So that got me thinking. This is where the nerdiness comes in. In my mind, I was like, huh. Well, how do guitars work? It's vibrating strings. There must be something that can listen for the vibration and tell me what note this is. I wonder, an iPhone has a microphone. I wonder if somebody go build it. So I go Google, and lo and behold, you come up with Guitar Tuner, which is this app. So sweet. So now I know of a guitar. So great. Very first thing I learned about guitar was Guitar Tuner. So I have a guitar tuner built into my phone, but no guitar. Now, engineer brain kicks in again. I need something that can simulate a guitar. Let's go to Google. Find a guitar simulator. Find a guitar simulator. I forget what site it was. And then virtually pluck a string. And out of my Mac comes an E note picked up through the air, through the vibrations. And lo and behold, Guitar Tuner tells me it's in tune. Holy shit. I'm learning how to play guitar. I have no guitar. Still got a week. Like, this is... So, but then again... Alright, so you're going to play guitar, and then let's just extrapolate that a little bit. A guitar is a musical instrument, and I know nothing about music. Well, what the hell is an E note? What notes are there? Oh, it's in tune. So then I set about figuring out how the fretboard is laid out. Well, what happens if I do this? So then I started doing, with my virtual guitar tuner, I created an Excel spreadsheet for all the frets, what the notes were, what the octaves were, and what the actual pitch was. A440, for example, or A880. And then we get into the physics of how strings work. And what happens if you shorten or lengthen a string, what happens to the note. You're getting nerdy already, and you don't even have a guitar. All you got is a guitar tuner. See what I mean? This is me. I will do this with anything. I'll figure it out. Alright, great. I got a bunch of notes. There must be something that somehow to combine them together and then discover a bit of music theory. Okay, so we know the chromatic scale. Okay, I can learn that. This is all now, mind you, while I don't even have a guitar. Okay, so I can go learn the chromatic scale. Okay, so now we know. Alright, music theory, there's Western music, there's 12 notes. Holy shit. That's it. 12 notes. Lots of music based off of the 12 notes. So, then I go learn about circle of fifths, circle of fourths. I learned it. I had no clue what he was talking about. It made sense at the time, but I had no guitar. I had no way of validating what he was saying on guitar. So, you know. So I did a bit of music theory while I was waiting for my guitar to show up. And then I was Googling, alright, what are the sites? So finally, guitar shows up. Alright, got a guitar. First thing to do is bust out Guitar Tuner. Tune the thing. Alright, I got a guitar, it's in tune. Now what? Back to Google. Google. How do I play guitar? And the first thing that pops up is Marty Schwartz. So I went for a few weeks playing. So I think one of the first chords he teaches you is E minor, and then A sus 2. This is the exact same chord. But then he fancied it all up, but basically he's E minor. And then that's basically how I started. Marty Schwartz. Shout out to Marty Schwartz, because you're the first guitar instructor that I found by doing a Google search. And then I just started playing some learning some chords from Marty. But there's no real structure to Marty stuff. This is the thing I found. He has a bunch of videos, but there's nothing to tell you what videos to learn when and where. So somebody put me on a Justin Guitar. Now we're cooking with gas. Justin Guitar has been around a long time. He has a structure to his website, and you can go, and he has a beginner course. So I went through every beginner course, and I must say, I've been playing 348 days. There has not been a day that I have not picked up the guitar and played at least 5 minutes. I just didn't do it. I don't know why it started that way, but I was pretty determined to learn this thing. I still can't play for shit. But every day. So then I go on to Justin Guitar. Start going through his stuff. And then you get to stuff like go through all his chords. And I remember, how do you play it? Play a D chord, and I was muting the D chord everywhere. So just struggling with the D chord for days and weeks, but powering on through. This is my hobby. This is the whole point was de-stress from work. So it didn't matter how long it took. So all right, if it takes me a week, a month to learn D chord, I learn D chord. But then I had trouble switching. So if I wanted to do D, now, Justin has the trick of the anchor finger, but a lot of songs don't have that. So, enter this book, if I can find it. Sorry, I got a bit of a cold. If I can find it here. This was my first guitar book that I bought. I'll show you a bunch in a bit. But the first 100 chords, I was looking for books, and basically the problem was transitioning. Chapter 13 in his book is that. Chapter 13 in his book is how to transition. Let me go to chapter 13 here. Let me go to chapter 13. No, it was not chapter 13, I lied. Chapter 12 is how to practice. There's 13-step process to learn the switch between it. I won't go through it. There's copyright and all that kind of stuff, so I can't talk about that. But basically, get a metronome out, and you need at least 2 chords. But if you follow Marty Schwartz, you know at least 1 chord. You know E minor. You know... My other guitar is getting in the way here. We'll get to that one in a second. So we know E minor. So that's a good chord to switch between. So you know at least 2 chords. Hand on, hand off, hand on, hand off. Hand on, hand off, hand on, hand off. And then all you do, click, click, click. And that's all you do. Put on a metronome, put it as slow as you go, once every 4 clicks. Keep doing that till you get it. Then if you can do that, start bumping it up, And I've talked about this before and how to learn chords. But that's basically it. You're powering through. You're building the muscle memory. And I like very basic stuff. And that's what I did. I did this on my own. It's very rudimentary, and I did it with every chord. And I probably A chord still pisses me off. I think it was the wild thing by the Trogs, where you're doing A chord on and off, but I kind of struggle with the A chord still. I need more practice on it. Whatevs. But that's basically what I did for the first, say, 2-3 months on Zen Guitar. That is learning chords, learning how to tune the thing, learning proper how to fret, how to play a chord without muting notes, how to change between chords. That is, that's a few months worth of work, and that's, as a beginner, that's your job. Learn how to hold the guitar. Learn how to hold down a G chord. And of course, all along, if you're following Zen Guitar, he goes through a lot more. You're doing more than that. So he's teaching you this kind of stuff when you're struggling with a D chord, but he's also coming along saying, "Oh yeah, you need to do some kind of some simple strumming." So you're going to learn some simple strumming. I did that. And then I follow along with this course, and then I started to follow along with some of the songs that he was doing. As you start going up, they started getting a little bit harder. And then the one song that piqued my interest was Counting Crows, Mr. Jones. I like that song. I want to be able to play it. So it goes. And then stop me, rate my tracks. Because you need to be able to play the bar chord. So you need to be able to do this. So I could not play a bar chord. If I wanted to play this as the record, need to be able to play that bar chord. This chord transition. I think literally I spent 3 months just to do that. You could probably do it faster, but this is my hobby. I was like, I'm learning on my own. I'm coming along, following Zen Guitar, learning some songs, and you get to something like Counting Crows, Mr. Jones. F bar chord, you get through all the open chords, and then eventually it's one of those chords you gotta learn. You've got to learn the bar chord, and then so I would practice bar chord hours every day until I could play that song. That's how I learned. Go through Zen Guitar, go through Marty Schwartz. I think a couple other ones, Andy Guitar. There's a few other websites that I lean on. Guitar365.com with Carl Brown. So there's a lot of self-taught stuff. But here's my problem. I'm getting kind of bored of the simple strumming kind of songs. What was that? So I was getting, 6 months in, and I can play a few simple songs, and I could play a bar chord, a half-ass bar chord. Still, I was getting bored of it. So it was all good. It was all good, and I went to work a few times. We had a few jams. Basically, it was the same thing. And then maybe I think I learned off Zen Guitar. Say we got the bar chord. But then I think I learned. So the minor bar recording a creep kind of a thing. So then I'm at work. The guys at work are just powering through on electric guitars, doing all kinds of blues improvisation, and I'm here. The only thing that I can do is something like a fish out of water. So that's when, all right, I kind of want an electric guitar now. So I bought one. So this got me. Oh, well, I played this. I still play this every day. But I started mixing in this one. This old bad boy. Classic Vibe Telly. And I absolutely love this guitar. But then again, I started still playing the same old thing. And I had a Vox Pathfinder amp over there. But it plays so much nicer. The neck is it's a classic vibe. This is a $500 guitar. Did my research on it. Went into the store and I played it. And I was like, oh man, this is great. And then I get it home, play it for a week, and then do this. I dropped it on my table. This pristine guitar, like my baby, and I dinged it. So I relicked it right off the hop. Still plays well, but like the vintage blonde finish was so nice, and I'm an idiot. So then, alright, how do I play this thing? So I was like, alright, not just gonna play simple strumming on this thing. What are you gonna do? You gotta learn how to do. Alright, so then I gotta start practicing string bends, so I can do. So do stuff like that, or then I started learning scales. And then that took me. So I was learning scales, string bends, and probably say stuff like. You get the point. So that I was learning those kinds of little riffs here and there. I never really got far with that. I want to, but I get fell back into the trap of just doing cowboy chords. We also have a saying in computer programming called cowboy coding, which is writing code without proper tests. So nerdiness. So I got this guitar. I really can't play it well. I can play some rhythm guitar on it, pretty crappily. I can play some scales. I can do some string bends, some hammer-ons, pull-offs. Hate pull-offs. Still practicing that. But, that took me till, I'm still. So every day I would practice on my DR-100 in the morning, and then I would learning some new songs, and then at night I would practice this thing, and so I was kind of like, all right, I need something. How am I going to learn this thing? So that's when it comes into, well, if I watch guitar videos by like 2-3 Trap, or they're moving up the neck, how do you play chords up the neck? I was like, obviously I need more. There's obviously some missing information that I don't have. So I went and bought more books. Actually, before I get into that, so this one, Book of Scales, I use this when I want to learn a scale. I'll use this to figure out what the notes in a scale are, write all the notes down so I know what they are and where they're to and what positions they're in. But I typically, I only know the major scale and the minor pentatonic scale. I don't know enough theory to play guitar up the neck enough, so I don't even bother. The major scale and the minor pentatonic scale enough for right now. But it's a handy book to have. So if whatever scale you want, you can look it up easy. Found that at Chapters for like $10 or something. I thought that was interesting. My brother gave me this one, which is the de facto guitar book. I'm dropping books everywhere. So I spent a lot of time going through that. Guitar for Dummies. So basically the walkthrough of how to play guitar. What else did I just drop here? I bought more picks than you can shake a stick at. After all of that, there's basically 2 picks that I like. I like the Tortex .6 Dunlop, and I like the Jazz 3 pick. The Max Grip Jazz 3 and the Tortex. So basically, out of all of that, these are my 2 favorite. Oh, well, somebody just gave me the other day the Dava pick. That one is not bad either. I don't mind that one. So, what do we got so far? So after that, I was looking for other books. Other books that I had. I read about Hal Leonard. This is, in theory, this book is good. This book is a bit different than Justin's book. This book focuses more on melodies and rather than harmonies, rather on chords. And it also focuses heavily on sheet music. So in order to read this book, you kind of got to teach yourself sheet music. I did that, but it's slow going. Without a guitar teacher or without having a bit of background knowledge on how to read sheet music. So look, the learning from this book was a bit slow. But, I did, and I managed to get through. What did I get to in this one? I could probably go some more, but I got to. Where did I get to? I got up to. Not very far. The Star Spangled Banner. I got to page 34 out of, say, 140 or so. So I got 10% of the way through. No, this is more than that, but no, whatever it is. I'm not doing math. And forcing myself to read sheet music. There's some good stuff in there. They do some chords. But for a beginner, chords make a whole lot of sense. But then the melodies make sense tough too. So if you're playing electric guitar and you want to play your lead guitar, you kind of want to know the melodies, but you still need to know harmony. You still need to know chords. So I don't know which approach is right, but I just found this book to be more complicated than, say, going through Justin Guitar stuff. But I think it was worthwhile to struggle through it. More nerd. We'll get to this one in a second. So then I knew I needed to get into guitar theory. So I bought the Guitar Theory for Dummies book by Desi Cerna. This is a really good book. So you get a lot of value out of that. One part of this where I've got to is the scale shapes. Major and minor pentatonic scales up and down the neck. That's my next order of business. I think I got guitar lessons starting next week, so maybe we'll figure that out and what I need to work on. But I didn't focus too much on scales, so I need to know where scales up and down the neck. But I understand the theory of it. Now I need to put that into practice. So I bought this book. I thought this one was good. But in order to do that, you need to know where the notes on the neck are. So that's this one. Guitar Fretboard Workbook. So I bought this one. Going through this, and I started memorizing notes on the neck. And then I'm trying to visualize in my head the notes on the neck. So say, where are all the G's? And then know the cage notes. You know the cage system, you know where all the G's are. And then I started memorizing what notes are on all the 3rd, 5, 7, 9, 10, and 12 frets, so that I could know what notes are where. Still a long way to go, but in order to move up the neck, you need to know what notes you're playing. So that's more or less that. What else did I buy? I bought a bunch of books that I really didn't use so far, like the Advancing Guitarist book. Well, this is another one about Fretboard Logic SC is similar to Guitar Fretboard Workbook. It goes into the cage system. I find this one was a bit more complicated. Didn't get a whole lot out of it, but I understand the cage framework and what it's about. But the material in this book was a bit over my head. The Advanced Guitarist. This is, in theory, a good book. But again, I think it might be a bit more advanced than where I'm to. I can know a few chords and I can play the bar chord. And I'm at the beginnings of starting to want to be able to move up the neck. So I bought this one, but this is kind of like to have on the shelf. So when I get things down, then I want to hone my skills, and I can start using that to drill in later. What else have we got going on here? Too much. I bought too many books. I'm more of a book collector. What else we got going on? Here's another one that's completely out of my league. Speed Mechanics for Lead Guitar. Not there yet. Put that in the back pile of things to learn. This one, 101 Guitar Tips. This was on the top list of books for guitarists. I bought it, but I haven't really gone through it. I've gone through it, but there's some tab in there that I haven't sat down and actually struggled with and actually tried to play. So another book to have on the shelf eventually when I get to it. Some people gave me books. This one, haven't used it. Somebody gave me this. It was in the book. Play guitar. Haven't used it. Just the book there on the shelf. I haven't used it at all. It doesn't. From all the other materials I have, I probably won't use this one. I was at the Value Village, and I just happened to find a Beatles songbook there for like $8. It's $30 off Amazon. So hey, good. I think it's in standard notation. So when I'm ready to start playing some Beatles songs, I've got already transcribed Beatles tunes. So I thought it was a good find for $8. Have it. Somebody gave me this one at work. Guitar exercises. Let's see. And I got this one at work. Terrifying technique for guitar. My technique isn't terrifying. Well, my instructor might think so. What else we got? This one. Easy Guitar Tab, White Pages in Theory. This was I picked this up at Chapters and thought it was a good idea, but I haven't used it much. I've basically been just using the songs off Just Guitar. But it's another book to have. We got that one. What else we got going on here? Zen Guitar. This is more. I was big into books on Zen and Buddhism, and Zen Guitar was rated highly. I've read it, thought it was really great. Probably going to reread it again. It's not so much about technique, it's about mentality, about what your thought process is and how guitar fits into your life and what that means for Zen. It's more of a spiritual type of a book, and how do you express the music in your soul kind of a thing. So it's a bit of a different change. It's a change of pace from the normal guitar books. If you like that kind of thing, it's a good read, which I do. I'm got this on one of my next books to reread. This one, Guitar Aerobics, is probably the one I've been leaning on the most to start learning electric guitar technique. So techniques, hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, bends. When I'm ready to start actually playing, say, some blues licks, this book is helping me build up just the mechanics of, say, doing string bends. So I've been practicing that, and I think this has been my favorite book so far. And then there are other... So in the meantime, so I'm looking for inspiration for thinking down the road, what type of musician do I want to be? Seems like blues rock is kind of what I'd want to play. Something like Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I've read Stevie Ray Vaughan's book. I actually don't have that one here. It's over on my bookshelf. But then I'm looking at who influenced Stevie Ray Vaughan. And B.B. King was one of the big ones. So I've been reading through B.B. King's autobiography. And there's a few musicians in here that are referenced that I probably want to go back and check out. Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. So that's where that's taken me. So I would say go back to, so I had 6 months of, say, Justin guitar, and I would say carry on with that. Probably 11 months of Justin guitar, coupled with, say, 5 months of this one on the electric. So about half and half, let's say, of playing acoustic, playing rhythm guitar, playing songs and chords, and then alternately playing scale shapes, playing arpeggios, working through this book to do string bends, and just working on some lead technique alternatively. So that's basically what I've been doing for 348 days. So I got 2 guitars. And it was coming along pretty good. My chord transitions were pretty good. I started to learn new songs that I wanted to learn. Had to go look up the tab. But songs, it was a bit of a struggle to go talk to my brother, and him wanting to play songs are out of really a bit of a stretch for me. But it was good. It was good to stretch and try to play things that were outside my current capabilities. So I was hemming on signing up for lessons. I wasn't really sure of my progress over the last year. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. And I think I'm going to enjoy it. It starts on Tuesday. But in preparation for that, and because I got my taxes back, I bought a new toy. So let's lay the Telly, my favorite guitar, to the side. And this guy. So I bought this last Tuesday. Played it for a day, put it back in the shop, but I didn't get it back till Friday. And then I had some health issues, so I didn't really get a chance to play it much. This is a Sigma D15M. So this is my upgrade to my beginner Epiphone DR-100. Now that I'm about almost a year in, and I'm starting to transition into, all right, let's get serious now and start mucking around. Let's start getting real. Start doing shit. Becoming a real guitarist instead of just farting around. So I went in, I bought this one right. Went into the music store, said, here's my budget. What do you got that's in this range? And I told him what I didn't like about my Epiphone. And he handed me, it wasn't this exact one, it was the parlor version of this, the Triple O, and it sounded so sweet. I was so torn on whether I wanted this one or the Triple O. So and then I played a bunch of guitars, but I was in the store for about an hour. I played them both equally, and I just love the sound of the mahogany in this guitar. And then stuff like, I don't know, I was playing a D minor chord, for example. it sounds completely different on this guitar. I don't know what it is. It sounds like I want a D minor chord to sound. Was I playing it wrong on the Epiphone? But then I can just do... I had so much fun playing this guitar in the guitar store. Couldn't put it down. I played an S6, a Seagull S6, hated it. Played a Yamaha, hated it. Played a bunch of other guitars. Kept coming back to these two. It was on the fence. The Triple O was so nice. It was a bit of a darker sound, not as many mids. But I went with the Dreadnought because you can't go wrong, and it has a better mid response. Like I know what that means. So that's my guitar journey. Just the recap. 11 months ago, I did it because I needed something to de-stress. And before that, never played a lick. Never picked up a guitar before in my life. And then now, 3 guitars later, and then guitar lessons on Tuesday. That's my story. That's where I'm to. You know, I can just play. I can play GCD all day, so you can just do. We can. And the difference in sound, it's a very subtle difference in sound. It's lighter gauge strings. It doesn't sound as metallic. It has a warmer sound. And I guess after 11 months of playing a beginner level guitar, this was like heaven to me. And you know, so that's my story of how I started learning guitar. And I showed you all the nerdiness, but we haven't shown you all the nerdiness. What else? One, I worked out by hand all the scales. Using scale formulas. Worked it out, every one by hand. So to know how to form the major scale. How to form a chord from the major scale. Let's see, I got that one there too. Let's see. Here's my key chart. I know it's here. Maybe not. Maybe I don't. I might have it. No, it must be somewhere else. But there's a key chart somewhere else. We talked about memorizing notes on the neck. Well, I printed off blank fretboard paper and started filling in the blanks. And not always starting linearly. Being able to start at any one fret, put it at any one point. Say second string 8th fret, right, which is G. That kind of stuff. Just learning that, and this is the kind of nerdiness that we get into, or I do. What else do we get into? So learning. And then printing off the actual fretboard layout to look for patterns. Paul Gilbert had an interesting video where he was playing some G minor pentatonic scale, and he mentioned in it, if you know your cage shapes, and you can just easily move this chord over here. And if you look, and that's why I printed this off, because I was like, all right, Paul, I'll put you to the test, and I'm like, holy shit, you're right. So that's when the cage system started to click. Is that I know the patterns repeat around the thing, and if you know where the roots are, the patterns are the same over and over. Anyway, getting too nerdy. But that's it. So that's what I've been learning. That was my process in learning guitar, is jump in off the deep end, start learning stuff as I saw fit. I didn't have a guitar teacher. I went with basically Justin Guitar, Andy Guitar, Marty Schwartz. Learned some guitar theories. I watched some Pepper Brown videos. Just a hodgepodge of stuff. Based on the books that you see here, I probably have just too much information. I have too much information to go off of and not enough structure, which is why I wanted a guitar teacher. Because now I want somebody to say, all right, here's where you're to. Here's the goals you want. So the goals that I set out for now, I think I told them I want to be able to play Pride and Joy by Stevie Ray Vaughan. And eventually, and I want to be able to play full songs and sing, and probably do like an open mic night. Get ready for that. So like I got to polish up the other stuff that I've been working on, and I also wanted to be able to do, say, some lead licks and to be able to do some blues improvisation. Right. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of gaps to fill in there, but that's basically what I wanted to fill in. And basically, I'm not making the progress that I want based off of the materials that I have. So hopefully, a guitar, I think, and I'm really looking forward to it. But I think looking back, it's been a fun 11 months. Every day, I've shown dedication. I played every day. Played with a scattered time at work. Tried to absorb as much information as I can. Started watching YouTube channels like Randy Shardiger on how guitars are actually built, or say Stu Mack, Rosa String Works, to see how guitars are built, how they fix them, how they're tuned. So when I want to bring a guitar into the shop, then I know the difference between the nut and the saddle. I know what intonation means and all that kind of stuff. So I learned about the nerdiness of the guitars, learned how to play a little bit. Still not, I can play a few open chords, I can play a few barre chords, do a string bend here or there. I'm getting where I wanted to go, which is to be able to play for friends and family, maybe do an open mic night, maybe do a blues improv, maybe, who knows, play a Steve Ray Vaughan song or two. Got a long way to go. It's 11 months. It's been a fun 11 months. And this is also no stress. This is supposed to take me away. I'm a software developer for 17 years, and I do this at night. And I guess I'm slacking off on the software development after hours because I put so much effort into it in a day. I'm a fairly good software developer, but I choose to focus on guitar in the evenings. And I've had a blast. Although last few weeks there's a wrinkle thrown in that with some health things, but hopefully we'll work that out, and I don't think it's gonna prevent me from going. So that's my 11-month journey into how I learned guitar, all the nerdiness along the way. Had a blast doing it. So yeah, that's my story. Should probably put some of this stuff away and get ready for Game of Thrones, which is going to be on shortly. Who's going to die? Spoilers. Who's the Night King? Is Bran the Night King? No, he's not. What about Ned Stark? Wouldn't it be interesting if all the people that were killed off in the first season come back? I don't know. It's George R. R. Martin is. I'm curious where it goes, because it should be a spectacular end. I'm hoping they end it right. I'm hoping they do a good job. I hope this is not like the ending of Dexter, where your buddy Dexter comes back as a lumberjack somewhere in Carbonera or Corner Brook. Hopefully it's a little better than the ending of Dexter. But you know. So yeah, that's my guitar story. Look for more guitar videos as I progress with the guitar teacher next week, and I'll see you guys in another video. Watch Game of Thrones. Peace.